Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryan, your host, and I'm welcoming you to my review of Being John Malkovich from 1999. Yes, we are taking a look at a film. Sorry about that. We're taking a look at a film that was released in 99, which the movie stars John Cusack, Cameron Diaz, Catherine Keener, Orson Bean. I didn't even see that as soon as I looked on the back of DVD. Mary Kay Place, and obviously John Malkovich. As the title is called, Being John Malkovich. This movie was written by Charlie Kaufman. It was produced, oddly enough, by Michael Stipe. Yes, the lead singer from REM, produced this movie. And it was actually directed by Spike Jonze, which will also be his directorial debut. Now, Being John Malkovich is a movie that I was very curious checking out. And before I go on and talk about the plot in my review, I want to talk about the genre of art house films. Now, for those that don't know, art house is where they make an artsy film, but make it totally bizarre and batshit crazy. Yeah, basically they go nuts with that genre. So yeah, with that out of the way, so what did I think of this film? An almost near masterpiece. And I'll get to that in a bit after I talk about the plot. So let's read about the plot to Being John Malkovich. And it goes like this. Craig Schwartz is a struggling street puppeteer. In order to make some money, Craig takes a job as a filing clerk. One day he accidentally discovers a portal into the brain of John Malkovich, played by John Malkovich. John Cusack is Craig Schwartz. For 15 minutes, he experienced the ultimate head trip. He is being John Malkovich. Then he dumped into the New Jersey Turnpike with his beautiful office mate Maxie, Catherine Keener, his pet-obsessed wife, Cameron Diaz. They hitch a plan to let others into John's brain for just $200 a trip. See what all the critics are talking about. This movie is bonkers, but in a fun kind of bonkers way. Now, basically, at the beginning of the film, he's a puppeteer, as I said. So he got the job. Then he meets up with a man named Mr. Lester, who's played by Orson Bean. I forgot. I didn't realize that Orson Bean was an actor. I would assume he was the panelist from To Tell the Truth. That's when I think of Orson Bean, because I watched so many episodes on YouTube of that show. That's what I think of him. But he's actually really good in this role. I forgot how good he is. And John Cusack, I will say this, John Cusack is okay for what he's given. But the real star of this movie is Catherine Keener. She is incredible. She plays Maxie, a woman that Cusack meets in the film. And right off the bat, the connections between both of these characters actually do work. And I think that for the most part it does. Then we get to John Malkovich, who just goes insane. They basically make him out to be a complete nut in this movie. And that's what, if you know Malkovich's acting, he can play the craziest roles ever in a film. And he is so good in this movie. I mean, he is just nuts. It goes off the wall, no holds bar, just in your face, rapid fire, like that. And that's what makes this movie so good. The fact that the fact that Catherine Keener is good. Cameron Diaz, like I said, plays a obsessed pet junkie. She has a monkey. She has a cat. There's one scene alone where Cusack puts her in the cage with the monkey, duct tapes her mouth so she don't talk, and the monkey somehow unties her, and it's not afraid to do anything. Then there's literally one scene in the movie where we see Malkovich go inside his own mind, and then we see a bunch of, well, John Malkovich. We see John Malkovich in a dress, John Malkovich as a waiter, John Malkovich as a singer. Then the menu says Malkovich everywhere, and he just goes insane, and it's just bonkers. This movie is bizarre for what it's giving. It's similar to how director Michel Gondry, that director goes just that art house feel. Now, I don't have a problem with art house if it's done right. I feel this is done right. I mean, I like art house films to a point, but my biggest problem with art house movies seems like it's just basically it puzzles your brain, and again, it's just bizarre for what it does. But my big problem with this movie is it's way too long. The movie it feels like a 2-hour movie. This movie only clocks in about 113 minutes, which feels like an hour, but it almost felt like a 2-hour, 3-hour movie. And the visuals in this are incredible. The cinematography is just the way Spike Jonze does. There's one scene where Diaz is chasing Keener's character, and basically they tilt the camera so she'll be like running up there, and she gets pregnant in the movie, and she's running from Cameron Diaz. There's one actress I forgot to mention though. There's a small role. There's a woman in the elevator, and she's actually played by Octavia Spencer. Yes, this was one of... I assumed that her first role was Bad Santa, but Octavia Spencer has a small bit role. Before Octavia Spencer became the biggest actress in Hollywood, she started out as a bit actress, but she was credited as Octavia L. Spencer, or I. Spencer, instead of Octavia Spencer. I'm watching the film like, that's Octavia Spencer? It's the same thing that I didn't know that Orson Bean was in it. I thought Orson Bean wasn't credited on the back of DVD, but then I look on the back of DVD and yeah, he's credited on there. So back to being John Malkovich. So like I said, Diaz chases Keener down, and Keener's pregnant down there, and Diaz has got a handgun, so chasing her, and for some reason they'll run down the stairs, they'll go in the house, they'll go like this, and then they'll pan the house, tilting it. So it's almost like a dollhouse, if you were to tilt a dollhouse, I think. Also, it's just I forgot to mention, Charlie Sheen apparently has a small role in this. Yes, the infamous winner chicken dinner himself, Charlie Sheen, is in this. Eons Before Two Not Men, and he actually plays, well, Charlie, obviously. So I don't know if he was good friends with Malkovich, or just they were like, there's a scene where it's like, Charlie, what about this role? And then they talk about discussing roles. I love the fact that Malkovich just talks to Cusack's character. He's like, you're playing with my mind. That's my mind. Stay out of it or I'll take you to court. He just goes insane. Also, near the end, so basically Malkovich turns into Cusack's character. The guy has long hair and he's a puppeteer now and becomes basically a has-been actor. So, I'm not going to give away the ending, but I'm going to tell you, this is not giving away the ending, but there's literally one scene. If I do give away the ending, I guess I kind of did. There's a scene where Keener and I believe Diaz and I think Keener's kid, they're at the pool, and literally the end credits shows her kid swimming underwater while the credits are rolling. That is just insanely bonkers. But like I said, that minor flaw aside, I can't hinder this from being... don't get me wrong, the only negative I had with this movie is it is a little too long. I kind of wish it was shortened. It almost, almost was going to be qualified into my 10 best list that I watched this year for the channel. But the length of the movie. Oh, and I'm going to show you this before I go ahead and cut to what I'm going to show. I'll eventually show you what I think of it. But the movie has 32 scenes. It's way too long. But I can't really fault that. But I am gonna dock it down a point because of the length of the film. But if you can handle an almost 2-hour film, at the end of the day, yes, being John Malkovich is a must-see. This movie is so good. Catherine Keener is great. John Malkovich is awesome. Orson Bean, surprisingly, is really good in this. And he's not in it that much. The one scene I did like is where Diaz's character, I forget her name in the movie, just says obsessed wife, but she knocks on Orson Bean's Mr. Lester. I forgot. Orson Bean played Mr. Lester. So she knocks on his door. He's like, "Dear Lord, you're gonna get soaked. You're gonna catch pneumonia. Come in. You're soaked." Out in the middle of the rain. Yeah, there's another thing where once they go in the mine, they drop right down there. Supposedly, this film is set in New Jersey, but you can actually see the Twin Towers, which is just seeing a movie made in '99 and seeing the Twin Towers seems a bit odd. But I'm not going to get into that. It's just something interesting. But I'm still going to say right now, please check out this movie. Though I want to kind of show this off. I have the scene card, but I normally don't show this kind of stuff in it. But if you look right here, we get this. I'll kind of zoom it, not really zoom it, but I'll show it right here. This is the ripped vessel. But I'm not going to tell you how that happens. But basically, Orson Bean's character, Mr. Lester, does explain that we're playing in the mine. It's so weird that a director like Spike Jonze making a film based around a character actor. It's just so weird. It tells about Fig 1, which is the lava stage, the pupil stage, and the right vessel. There's a TV spot on the DVD that does show this. So I just found this pretty neat in the scene index card. But yeah, I just wanted to show that off. But as I said before, if the movie was a little bit shorter, this would have been my highest rating. And it was a hard decision going back and forth what I was going to rate this film. So I'm trying to think of anything else that I forgot to mention in the movie. I don't know. Like I said again, the weird scene at the end where it shows the little girl just swimming underwater is really what makes this really bizarrely weird. And I assume that's Catherine Keener's kid all grown up, or maybe Cameron Diaz's character kid all grown up. It's just weird to include that at the end of the film during the credits. Well, normally when a movie ends, I thought it was just going to end. If it just ended and not showed that, then this movie would have been killed by an ending. But like I said, that was my downside, was the amount of time. It's just a little too long. But again, if you can ignore that, can sit for a 2-hour film, then yes, an almost 2-hour film. But yeah, let's go ahead and rate this right now. And this was a hard decision. What was I going to give it? Was it going to be a 5 out of 5? Was it going to be a 4 out of 5? But at the end of the day, as said before, at the end of the day, I'm going to go ahead and give Being John Malkovich a 4 out of 5. And that's probably the reason why I gave it that score. The real reason I gave it a 4 out of 5 was because the length of the film, it was just way too long to actually be higher than what I gave it. I'm sorry I'm stuttering, guys, but yeah. But it's still a masterpiece, and I figured I'm gonna lock it in a 4 I'm gonna lock it in at a 4 out of 5 because of that time. So yeah. Like I said, check out Being John Malkovich. It's still a great movie regardless. I had a good time with this movie. It felt way too long in my opinion. At some scenes kind of dragged a bit, but Catherine Keener was great. John Malkovich was awesome, as I said. Orson Bean was really good. And the ending is just so bizarrely bonkers that I couldn't really give it than what I'm going to give. So yeah, a 4 out of 5 is fine with me. So yeah, that's my review of Being John Malkovich. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content of the channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell to get all my video notifications so you don't miss a single video on the channel. I'm also on Letterboxd, guys, so you can go ahead and check out all the stuff that I post up there as well. I usually rate the movies before I go ahead and review them. So, pretty much that. I also, not only in addition to Universal reviews, I also have my collection updates, Vlog City series, and tons of other things on the channel. That you guys can go ahead and check out and like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of Being John Malkovich. Did you like the movie? Did you not like the movie? Did you think it was bananas bonkers like I did? But yeah, like I said, click the bell and ring the bell to get all the video notifications. So like I said, if you don't miss a single video. But yeah, go check out Being John Malkovich. It was really, really a good time, even though it was a little too long for me. But I'm still going to say this is a must-see for anybody who wants to see art house films done right. So yeah, that's it, guys. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.